What happens when Hollywood's toughest gunslinger meets a woman of God in the middle of the Mexican desert, surrounded by ruthless bandits ready to strike? The answer will leave you breathless. But wait, nothing is what it seems, and the shocking truth behind Sister Sara's identity will blow your mind. If you love stories of courage, deception, and redemption that keep you on the edge of your seat, you need to hit that subscribe button right now, because this channel brings you the most incredible tales that Hollywood has ever told. The story: the scorching Mexican sun beat down mercilessly on the desert terrain as Clint Eastwood, playing the weathered mercenary Hogan, rode his mule through the unforgiving landscape, his eyes constantly scanning the horizon for danger or opportunity, whichever came first, when suddenly the eerie silence was shattered by desperate screams that pierced through the hot desert air like a knife through butter. Hogan's instincts kicked in immediately as he spurred his mule forward, his hand instinctively moving to his gun, and what he discovered beyond the rocky outcrop made his blood boil with rage. 3 savage bandits were circling a woman dressed in a nun's habit, their intentions as clear as the cloudless sky above, their laughter echoing cruelly across the barren wasteland as they taunted their helpless victim, who clutched her rosary beads and prayed fervently for divine intervention. Without hesitation, Hogan's guns blazed with deadly precision, dropping 2 bandits instantly while the third fled like a coward into the desert, leaving behind a cloud of dust and the acrid smell of gunpowder hanging in the air like a ghost of violence past. The nun, introducing herself as Sister Sara, fell to her knees thanking God and Hogan in equal measure, her face streaked with tears and dirt, her voice trembling with genuine fear and gratitude that seemed almost too authentic, almost too perfect for the harsh reality of their surroundings. Hogan, being the pragmatic mercenary he was, agreed to escort Sister Sara to safety through the dangerous territory, though he couldn't shake the nagging feeling that something about this holy woman didn't quite add up, something in her eyes that spoke of secrets buried deeper than any desert grave. As they journeyed together on 2 mules through the treacherous landscape, Sister Sara proved to be far more resilient than any nun Hogan had ever encountered, handling the brutal conditions with surprising ease, smoking cigars when she thought he wasn't looking, cursing in Spanish under her breath when the terrain got rough, and displaying a street-smart savvy that seemed completely at odds with her supposed life of cloistered devotion. The mysterious nun revealed they were heading toward a French garrison that was occupying Mexican territory, and she claimed she needed to reach the revolutionary forces to deliver crucial information. But Hogan couldn't help noticing how her story changed subtly with each telling, like a kaleidoscope shifting patterns in the desert heat. Their journey became increasingly dangerous as they encountered more bandits, Mexican revolutionaries, and French soldiers, with Sister Sara displaying combat knowledge that would make a seasoned soldier proud, directing Hogan with tactical precision that saved their lives multiple times, her instructions delivered with an authority that seemed to come from somewhere other than divine inspiration. The emotional connection between them grew deeper with each passing day, with Hogan finding himself drawn to this enigmatic woman, whose prayers seemed as comfortable on her lips as her knowing smiles, whose gentle touch when tending his wounds carried an intimacy that transcended religious boundaries, whose laughter in the firelight made him forget, just for moments, the hardness of his mercenary existence. But the most shocking revelation came when they finally reached the revolutionary camp, and Sister Sara's true identity exploded like dynamite in Hogan's face. She was no nun at all, but rather a prostitute working undercover for the Mexican revolutionaries, using the nun's disguise to move freely through dangerous territory and gather intelligence on the French forces who had destroyed her village and murdered her family, including her young daughter, in a brutal massacre that had transformed her from a woman of simple pleasures into an avenging angel wrapped in holy cloth. The emotional weight of this revelation crashed over Hogan like a desert flash flood as Sister Sara, her real name Maria, broke down completely, tearing off her habit with trembling hands to reveal not just her true identity but the deep scars, both physical and emotional, that the French soldiers had left on her body and soul when they had violated her and left her for dead among the burning ruins of everything she had loved. Hogan, who had seen every kind of human suffering and betrayal imaginable in his violent life, found himself moved to tears for the first time in decades as Maria confessed that the rosary she clutched so desperately had belonged to her murdered daughter, the only physical remnant of the child she had failed to protect, the tangible connection to an innocence that had been violently stolen from her world. In that moment of raw vulnerability and shared pain, something miraculous happened between these two damaged souls. Hogan realized that Maria's disguise as Sister Sara wasn't just about military intelligence or revolutionary tactics, but about her desperate attempt to reclaim some semblance of purity and purpose in a world that had stripped both from her so savagely. And he understood that by helping her, he was somehow helping himself find redemption for all the violence and moral compromises that had defined his own tortured existence. Together, they executed a daring plan to help the revolutionaries defeat the French garrison, with Maria using her intimate knowledge of the soldiers, routines and weaknesses, knowledge gained through unspeakable experiences, to orchestrate a stunning victory that freed her people from oppression and gave her the revenge she so desperately needed. In the final, heart-wrenching scene, as Maria stood over the graves of her village's victims, Hogan offered her a chance at a new life, a fresh start away from the violence and pain, but she smiled through her tears and gently declined, explaining that she had found her true calling in continuing to fight for the oppressed, that her daughter's death would have meaning only if she dedicated her life to ensuring no other mothers suffered the same fate, and that sometimes the greatest miracles aren't about supernatural intervention, but about finding the strength to transform unbearable tragedy into purposeful action. As Hogan rode away on his mule, looking back one last time at the woman who would forever remain Sister Sara in his heart, he realized that saving her from those bandits in the desert had somehow saved him too, that their unlikely partnership had shown him that redemption wasn't about washing away the past, but about choosing to act with honor despite it, and that the real miracle of their story wasn't about guns or disguises or military victories, but about two broken people finding unexpected grace in each other's company amid the unforgiving beauty of the Mexican wilderness where nothing is ever quite what it seems, and where the line between saints and sinners blurs like a desert mirage in the shimmering heat of truth and transformation.